In trading, comfort is the enemy of growth. Every trader says they want to improve. Every trader says they want discipline, clarity, consistency. But most traders never evolve. Not because they lack knowledge, but because they don't see the silent mistakes shaping their behavior long before they ever open a chart. This video isn't about indicators. It's not about strategies. It's about the 6 invisible forces quietly holding you back as a trader. Forces you've probably never examined, but that influence every decision you make in the market. If you've been stuck at the same level for months, if you keep repeating the same mistakes, if you wonder why your results don't match your knowledge, this video will show you the deeper reasons, the ones beneath the surface, the ones every serious trader must eventually confront. Let's begin. Silent mistake number 1. You're trading against your nervous system, not the market. You believe your problem is inconsistency, or impulsivity, or revenge trading, or lack of patience. But the truth is deeper. You're trying to trade with a dysregulated nervous system. Think about your last emotional trade, your last impulsive entry, your last frustrated exit. Was it really your strategy's fault? Or was your heart rate elevated? Was your breathing shallow? Were your shoulders tense? Was your brain desperate for resolution, not clarity? The nervous system dictates your perception, your timing, your sense of risk, your tolerance for uncertainty. When you're activated, you literally see the market differently. And most traders try to fix their psychology while ignoring the biological system underneath it. You can't develop patience when your body is in fight or flight. You can't follow rules when your brain thinks it's in danger. You can't see structure when your perception narrows under stress. You think you're battling the market, you're battling your own physiology. If you want to improve as a trader, your foundation isn't your strategy, it's your internal state. The mistake is not understanding this, and until you correct it, every improvement will be temporary. Silent mistake number 2. You're consuming more than you're practicing. You believe you're improving because you're learning, watching videos, reading books, listening to podcasts. But deep down, you know the truth. Consumption is not practice. In fact, constant consumption becomes a trap. You feel productive, but you're not progressing. You feel like you're studying, but you're avoiding execution. You feel like you're developing mastery, but you're only gathering information. There's a difference between learning, rehearsing, applying, adapting, embodying. And most traders get stuck at step 1. Let me ask you something. How much of what you learned last month actually shows up in real-time decision-making? How much of your knowledge is embodied? How much of your learning becomes instinct? Here's the uncomfortable truth. You don't rise to the level of your knowledge. You fall to the level of your conditioning. Knowing what to do doesn't matter if your nervous system doesn't support the behavior. Reading about patience doesn't create patience. Watching a video about discipline doesn't create discipline. Studying a strategy doesn't make you execute it properly. Improvement is not intellectual, it's behavioral. If you aren't practicing the behaviors, your improvement is an illusion. And illusions don't survive pressure. Silent mistake number 3. You're comparing your life to everyone else's highlight reels. This is a modern problem, a silent disease of the trading world. You open social media and you're bombarded with profits, big wins, perfect trades, flawless executions, luxury, success, consistency, freedom, financial independence, and you compare it to your reality, your drawdowns, your hesitation, your stress, your mistakes, your learning curve. It creates a psychological distortion. You think you're behind, not because you are, but because you're comparing your full story to someone else's highlight reel. Comparison destroys growth. It triggers urgency, frustration, jealousy, doubt, unrealistic expectations, and these emotions lead to the behaviors that sabotage your development. Overtrading, forcing setups, jumping strategies, abandoning rules, chasing validation, trading to prove something. Your improvement stagnates because your focus is on external progress, not internal mastery. Great traders don't measure themselves against others. They measure themselves against yesterday's version of themselves. Your path is unique. Your timeline is yours. Your progress may be silent, but silence is where real growth happens. Silent mistake number 4. You don't have a real feedback system. Most traders don't improve because they don't track anything. They don't track emotional state, mistakes, environment, routines, triggers, decision quality, reasons behind entries and exits. Most traders don't have data about themselves, they only have emotions about themselves. You can't improve what you don't measure. You can't evolve what you don't observe. You can't eliminate mistakes that you never identify. Improvement requires feedback loops, not hope. Feedback is what turns randomness into patterns, patterns into awareness, awareness into control, control into consistency. Here's something elite traders understand. Your biggest edge is not the market. It's your ability to learn from the market. And you can't learn if you don't track. If you want to improve, you need to know why you enter, why you exit, what triggers you, what distracts you, what state produces your best trades, what state produces your worst trades, what environment optimizes your focus, what behaviors ruin your performance. Without feedback, your improvement is random. With feedback, your improvement becomes inevitable. Silent mistake number 5. Your environment is working against you. This mistake is so silent that most traders never recognize it. You think you lack discipline. You think you lack focus. You think you lack consistency. But what you actually lack is an environment that supports those behaviors. You can't expect to trade calmly, focus deeply, make conscious decisions, act strategically in an environment that is noisy, chaotic, full of interruptions, full of dopamine triggers, full of stress, full of distraction, full of emotional stimulation. Your environment shapes your nervous system. Your nervous system shapes your mind. Your mind shapes your perception. Your perception shapes your decisions. You are not failing. Your environment is failing you. Think about this. Your phone vibrates, your attention shifts, your focus breaks, your nervous system activates, your clarity collapses, your next trade suffers. Most traders don't have a trading problem. They have an environment problem. If your environment is chaotic, your trading will be chaotic. If your environment is calm, your trading becomes calm. You don't need more discipline. You need a better environment. Silent mistake number 6. You're trying to transform too fast. This is one of the most destructive silent mistakes. You expect improvement to be dramatic, immediate, visible, linear, motivating. But mastery doesn't grow in big jumps. It grows in subtle refinements. Consistency is not built in a week. Clarity is not built in a month. Discipline is not built in a course. Self-awareness is not built in a video. Improvement is not a breakthrough. It's a slow alignment, a gradual synchronization between your nervous system, your environment, your psychology, your habits, your beliefs, your identity. When these elements are misaligned, growth becomes impossible. When they are aligned, progress becomes automatic. Improvement is not something you chase. It's something you allow by removing what blocks it. And the 6 silent mistakes are the blocks. If you remove them, you don't have to force yourself to improve. You simply evolve, naturally, calmly, quietly, consistently. The market rewards the trader who masters not just the chart, but the self. You don't need more strategies. You don't need more indicators. You don't need more complexity. You need awareness, clarity, presence, internal alignment. When these are built, improvement is no longer a struggle. It becomes the only possible outcome. Your evolution has already begun. Now it's time to make it conscious.